Hey, I'm here again. Here to just babble on. I met somebody way back when who was actually a pretty cool person, but they had like these certain aspects and tics about them that they just did not like. You might as well consider them pet peeves, I suppose. But one of the biggest ones was that they dated somebody that they deemed as a narcissist. And I'm not going to look up the exact definition of narcissist, but to give you an idea of what a narcissist is, if you don't know, it's basically somebody who's just like obsessed with themselves, loves themselves like a little too much than the average person should or would. At least that's like how I've learned about a narcissist, right? Like a narcissist would probably come up to you and talk more about themselves than they would rather hear you talk to them about yourself, right? So it'd be a one sided conversation because it's all about them and you aren't getting anything in about yourself. That's basically how I'd see a narcissist, right? I'm sure there are higher like levels, higher tiers to it that would make them more toxic, but that's just to kind of give you an idea of what one is, right? So the person that I was talking to says that they were dating one, and ever since then, that person, like the person that they were dating, must have left them scarred because whenever they would talk to me and they talk about like their previous relationship, they tell me that they hated narcissists, they couldn't stand narcissists, that they had an understanding of what a narcissist is, like how a narcissist came to be, and like their explanation, their excuse was that a person could have gone through some serious trauma and decided to become a narcissist. And when I first heard it, I was like, "What? Like that sounds stupid. It doesn't make any sense." But after giving it some time, it like laid into me that maybe they're saying that like maybe somebody was hurt in a relationship, right? And they decided to put themselves first. And because they put themselves first, they didn't really find a filter of when to stop putting themselves first and became like this overloaded, big headed narcissist and decided that like no matter what happens in a relationship, they're always looking out for themselves. And you know what? I don't blame them. If you're always going to look after yourself in a relationship, then I mean, it's not it can be troublesome to some degree, right? Like just off the top of my head thinking right now, if you were with somebody like generally deeply with somebody and you like love them, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna put them onto you, right? You're gonna take pieces and parts of them and merge it with yourself, or you're gonna take pieces and parts of yourself and put it into them. So that way you're not entirely narcissistic. But if you're dating somebody and like you don't really care for them at all and you're only focused around yourself, then I don't really think that that's the narcissist problem. That would be your problem, right? Because you decided to go out of your way to give somebody the time of day, your attention, knowing good and well that they don't care enough for you to do the same back for you. And I feel like that's a common thing that I've seen a lot happen as well. Like people people will do really dumb, like in my like honest opinion, it's really dumb and it's really stupid, right? And I usually see it around the females that I speak to rather than males, but I have seen some males experience it as well. Like they'll stay with somebody who's beating them, even though literally everybody's telling them no, or they'll stay with somebody who doesn't treat them right, and they know that they should leave that person, but instead of leaving, they'll stick around because not because of how they feel about the person, but because everybody else is going to judge them, right? Or or they'll they'll put time into somebody who's obviously cheating on them, but they don't care because they're the only person who's ever actually given them attention and given them like what they think they need. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't know what they need. A ton of people don't know what they need or what they want. They just I want to say they act off of instinct, they act off of impulse, but at times I feel like they don't even act off of that. I don't really understand what's going on in this time frame. Everything feels so distant and so stupid. Like everybody's always doing something that just doesn't make sense to me. And it's not everybody, that's an exaggeration and overgeneralization to say that it's everybody. But to be honest, it is a lot of people that I've met. And they always have some excuse as to why they do the things they do. And that's another big problem for me. If if you're self aware of what you do and it's a problem, so much so that you make an excuse up, then why don't you change? You know? Why don't you fix it if you know it's an issue? Why do you keep doing it? It doesn't make sense to me at all. And I've been meeting people who are like working on themselves. They'll talk about like their insecurities and their depressions and how like they've come to fix it through like majoring in school for like social work, or they'll talk to therapists and really get stuff down. And I mean, I'm glad for them. I'm glad that like they're passing that barrier and breaching on. But for everybody else, it's still like it's as if they just are stuck in this loop. And I mean, at some point, you have to realize it, right? You have to be self aware enough to realize, hey, I'm not happy where I am in life. I should change. But I won't say nobody ever changes, but it's rare for somebody to say that they're going to change and then actually change. You know what I mean? It's just so insane to me. It blows my mind. And because of all this, like I've been keeping distant with a lot more people than I used to. Some people I don't even keep at arm's reach anymore. Now it's almost as if we don't even know each other. People that I used to call friends or I used to call my best friends, I don't even talk to anymore. Because everybody's been acting real shifty and shady. And I remember speaking a little bit on this way back when I first started uploading like videos with audio. But I mean, honestly, like this is insane. I don't understand how you can be self-aware that like you're in a jam and then continue to stay in that jam and complain for the rest of your life instead of getting yourself out of that jam and going for something that genuinely matters to you. And then like you continue to make excuses about it. Just do it. Just change. It's not change is hard, but as we've learned in life, anything that's hard and like makes you take that long way, makes you take up time, because you can't replace time. You can't add more time. Once you're out of time, you're out of time. So anything that's hard and you genuinely put time into for the change of it is obviously worth fighting for. But I don't know. It's just like some people just don't want to fight for it. And people like that have negative energies, right? It's a negative aura, it's a negative energy. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's just people that shouldn't be around you, because the more that you take in how they act, the more that you're going to be affected negatively, right? So you'll stop seeing the world for how you see it, because you're putting time into people that you care about who don't care enough for you to change, not only for themselves, but for the people around them. So people like that, I just have to start cutting off. I just have to start distancing. A lot of people that I was talking to in the past, I don't talk to anymore. A lot of people come up to me acting as if they know me. I don't know them, and I know for sure that if I don't know them, they don't know me. It's over. But yeah, peace.